Folks, if you saw the video with the three amigos that just happened, Dion kind of sprinkled in at the end this idea about being gifted 100 grand and wanting to retire in 6 months or less. I thought we should ask the question. If we go back, we own no real estate. We have all of our experience, all of our skill, all of our network, but we own zero real estate. And we were gifted 100 grand or inherited or whatever. What would we do today with 100,000 bucks? Matt, you get the honor of going first. What do you got?
First thing I would do is I would buy a house hack 3.5% down owner
Okay.
rock. That's what I would do. Very first thing I would do. It's what's going to keep the most amount of money there. You know, there's all the conversation about seller financing and all that other happy stuff, which wasn't really around when I first started.
Sure.
It was just super rare.
So how much that would that be? I mean, the median home price in your area is what?
So I'd be buying a multi.
Okay.
I'd be buying a multi. Yeah. I'd buy, probably a 3 or a 4. And then you're looking at, that's probably, if it's a 4, it's probably about 800,000.
All right. So 800 grand, let's say you put 5% down just for easy math. That's 40 grand. Let's say 50 grand after closing costs and all of that. You still have 50 grand left. Where does that go?
At that point, that next 50 would be working on the very next deal. So it would be trying to find something. I'd rather buy something bigger that I can house hack, that not people in my unit like Dion does with roommates, because I got wife and kids, but literally today, as we sit today, wife, kids, we would find a way to make it work, and we would do that. And then we would take that money. Ideally, we'd buy that much better of a property and spend that $50,000 making it nicer to get bigger rents.
Okay.
But I wouldn't deploy all 50, and I would just let those rents start paying me, have my money start saving. And then I'm ready after 1 year, I'm ready for the next one. So I wouldn't be retired in 6 months in November, but I would have all of my costs under control, and I'd be making money where I'm living, as opposed to spending 2 or 3 grand a month at least.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you saying is you would probably start the 4-3-2-1 strategy, which we haven't talked in a while. The first 50 grand buys the fourplex. You spend a year there. Then you exit that for a triplex, again, house hack. So you're at 7 units and you're living for free.
Yep.
With your 100 grand.
Yep.
Not a bad strategy. All right, Dion, what do you got? What would you be doing with 100 grand just left on your doorstep?
So you own no real estate.
Yep.
And I'm going to say you're just a blank canvas.
You're a blank canvas, but you have the experience that you've earned over the last decade or so. So it's not like you're a total newbie.
Okay,
you have
right.
all your knowledge.
So again, my first step would be to set a time horizon.
Okay.
I would rethink I want to retire within 6 months that you hear with $100,000. That's not going to happen with $100,000 unless you buy all lottery tickets. So I would divide it into my buckets of, here's how much I have for reserves. And when you're just starting out, I think $10,000 is a fair amount for reserves. It's a round number. It would cover at least 3 months of mortgages on almost any property that I am going to purchase. Second, I would probably set aside an education budget, probably not more than $5,000, but I would look at certain, because I have my experience. I don't know that I would need to do this, but the blank canvas, I would want them to, the strategy that they're going to pick, find the person who's done it, figure out how to get on into their training and get that down. Like Matt, I would do the house hack. I would probably do house with ADU or duplex, so that I could also get an investment property to get cash flow instead of starting with the fourplex, just starting out, and reduce or eliminate housing cost. That's probably going to be, so a duplex in my area, 400,000 to 500,000.
Okay.
And 5% down if it's a duplex, 3% down if it's conventional, because that'd be a blank slate, owner occupied, first time purchase. So that's what, 25,000, maybe 30,000.
Okay.
Leaving about 50,000 to deploy into an investment property or 2, depending on the market. So with my current network, I would probably go the Millennial Mike route and look at Gary, Indiana, and get cash flowing properties. Without that type of network, if I don't know trusted boots on the ground or somebody who has systems in place for distance investing, it would be in my market, and I would expand out until the $50,000 got me the down payment at a 20 or 25%. Maybe, I think there's some investment property options at 10 or 15%. So I'd hunt currently what lending has available to get another cash flowing property. If I was a blank slate and didn't have something like a CDL, I would look at a certain amount of money to get something like a CDL, a welding certificate, start in one of the trades to get consistent income. Not everybody has the ability to learn sales and go and work in a sales or a highly commission based type of thing. So I'd want that consistent income, and I'd set the timeline of, yeah, this is the first house hack with this amount of money, possibly another investment property. But as I can continue to save, within 2 to 4 years, I'd be adding another property and repeat the same thing that I know worked.
Yeah. It's funny. The first thing I would do with 100 grand is I would go find some, I'd go buy a treasury or something, and I probably wouldn't touch it for 6 months. And it's really funny how we all go back to what we did in the beginning. I would be searching a market, right? I would be taking my skill and learning. And I don't know if I would choose Fresno today. I don't know. I would look, but I would be seeking a market. And for me, again, I go back to hating getting on planes. So maybe instead of going south, I'd go north. I would be looking for a market where, 8, 9, 10% yield is pretty achievable. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance I would house hack today. Let's just be clear. That's not happening if we're doing it today, even with 100 grand. But yeah, so I would put it away, and I would give myself a 6-month time frame to find and research a market. I might have to break down and go out of state. I would fight it every tooth and nail, but maybe that's the right answer. It's not that I'm opposed to it. I flew to Texas. I flew to Arizona. I flew to all these other markets in 06, 07. But yeah, I would spend 6 months finding my market. Take the skill set I have, find one that attracts me, because I believe you have to go there. Find where I might have boots on the ground that I could rely on. But that's what I'd be doing. I'd be in no rush to deploy it. I'd give myself 6 months to find a market. That's what I'd be doing.
I like how we all three said we would basically do what we did, which is what
Exactly.
this is what you did. Even to the point, Mike, where there's been several times where you've said the one thing missing from your strategy was really house hacking. And in this situation, you didn't even bring it up. You were just like, I would do what I did again. I would learn a market. I would put my money to work. So
now, if I was 30,
and we would do what we teach.
Yeah, if I was 30, single, I would house hack. But I'm 51. I'm grouchy. I don't like people. There's no chance in hell I would house hack today. So just wanted to be upfront.
The last thing that I would add here for the question, when it comes up, if you have $100,000, how would you do this? How would you retire very soon? If you found a market where you got a 10% return and you invested 100% of your $100,000, are you going to live on $10,000 a year?
Right.
This is why time becomes the missing element.
Yeah, totally agree. Dion, where can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom, where my live streams are done Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific.
And Matt, where can they find you?
Lumberjack Landlord, YouTube, Instagram. Lots of fun pictures coming because we are spending way too much money on a monthly basis.
Been there. Know how that feels.
Oh my goodness. It's like, yeah, why not? Let's just give me that checkbook. I don't have writer's cramp already. It's crazy, but it's awesome. But yeah, Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram. And we will share a lot of those stories on 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. I think this Sunday we've got my biggest, most ambitious, craziest, could be the scariest project I've ever done. We are well down the path on.
There you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.